What is the best city to study in Australia? This is a very common question I'm getting day-to-day basis. So let me explain you. Before that, let's jump into Google and have a look at the Australian map. All right, so this is Australia, as you know, well, sixth largest country, and you can see these border lines. What are these? In Australia, you have states and territories. There are six states, as you know: Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, and Tasmania. Then there are two territories: Australian Capital Territory and the Northern Territory. Then what about Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane? What are those? Those are the capital of states. For an example, if someone says, I'm going to Melbourne, that means he is going to Victoria, and the Melbourne is the capital of Victoria. Likewise, Sydney is the capital of New South Wales, Brisbane is the capital of Queensland, Adelaide is the capital of South Australia, Perth in Western Australia, and Hobart in Tasmania. Also Canberra in CBD and Darwin in the Northern Territory. All right, now let's go back to our original question. What's the best city to study? It depends, because you have to understand few principles when you are picking your university and the location. All right, let me explain you with an example. Let's go to Victoria for an example. As I earlier explained you, Melbourne is the capital of Victoria. Also the CBD, and most of the companies, the corporates, they having their head offices in a city like Melbourne. Whereas if you take the regional Victoria, for an example Geelong or Bendigo, the opportunities or the corporates having their offices might be significantly lower than compared to Melbourne CBD. So that is one of the trade-offs. However, the contrast is, if you are considering the rent, Melbourne is significantly higher than you going to a location like Geelong or Bendigo. Apart from that, once you complete your studies, usually you are eligible up to 2 years to get a post-study work visa. However, if you go to a regional area like Geelong or Bendigo in this example, you are eligible up to 3 years for the post-study work visa period. In some instances, you can claim up to 4 years. Now, this is just Victoria and Melbourne and its regional cities. The same story applies to other states as well. For an example, if you take Sydney, which is the capital of New South Wales, you have regional New South Wales like Newcastle or Wollongong. And even if you compare two cities within two states, there are significant differences. For an example, Sydney is costlier than Melbourne. Also, if you look at the industries, for an example, technology, Sydney has more technology firms, the head offices, compared to Melbourne. So you have to consider all these aspects when you are picking the institution or the university for your higher studies if you are coming to Australia as an international student. Understand the location, how to pick the best locations. If you have any questions, comment below and I will answer all your questions.